Good morning, everybody. Let's continue with the chapter. Now we learn about making smart financial choices. What do you mean by smart financial choices? It is essential that whenever you make any financial choices, you have to make it in a smart way. Like whatever you want to, wherever you want to invest for long term or you want to invest for short term. What is important is how you invest and how smartly you invest your choices. It all depend. It is important to develop a mindset that prioritizes long term gains or short term pleasure. Means that if a person, an investor who wants to invest for long term or short term, he should know what are his priorities. Does he want for like for 3 4 years or he wants for 10 15 years? This all depends upon his priority, and then accordingly you have to make choices. Making smart choices about your money now can help you have a safer future in the future. Means that if you, depending upon the choices you make today, it will help you to make a better future and a safe future in your life. Now we learn how to make good financial decisions. So you have decided that you have to make a financial decision, but how to make it, all will we learn that. To make a good financial decision, you should follow a systematic steps or approach. This process starts with gathering all relevant information. What type of information you want? First of all, you need to obtain information. What information you have to obtain? Before you make any, prior making any decision, gather pertinent information. Now, if you want to make any choice, first before making any choice, you have to gather information. What type information about that pertains to your prioritize? Like you have to investigate the different financial services and products that are offered on the market. Suppose if you want to invest in any banking sector, then you have to find out information about which bank is better, which bank gives you high rate of interest, which bank has a good score and all that. For example, if you're considering to open a account, suppose if you want to open a savings account, what do you have to do? You have to get examine the client's feedback and assess the banking standing. Means that you have to assess key, know what the client's feedback is, how are they liking the investments, the services they're receiving, and accordingly you have to decide that whether you have to invest or not. And also assess the bank standing. Means that how is the bank's doing the performance? Is the bank giving the interest on time, or is what are the facilities they're providing us? Information is power, and more you know, more informed your choice will be. Means that the more information you get, the more confidence you are of choosing the financial decisions, and the more you are confident, the more better choice you will make. Then what you do? Then you evaluate your options. Means compile a detailed list of all options that are available. You make a list that whatever options you want to select, you make a list on that. Then after that, you consider investing in mutual funds. Then you can, if you're considering from the list, if you want to, suppose you want to invest in mutual funds, then what will you do? You will research various funds which are available. You research on, you want to invest in growth funds, you want to invest in equity, you want to have an SIP. What? It all depends upon you, and accordingly you have to research. Then examine the past results, management costs, and related dangers. Means that suppose if you have selected one fund, then you see the past results. See how it is allocated, how the returns are giving last 5 years, and see how it is performing, and what are the costs involved, and is there any damages or any dangers related to it. Just evaluate, is it affecting your funds or not. Then make a thorough comparison table for every choice. Then you make comparisons that yes, I want fund A, I want to go for fund B or fund C. Which fund is much better? Which fund gives you more returns? Which fund is more useful for me, and which useful for my objectives, completes my objectives, and which is more liquidity. Incorporate variables such as possible profits, hazards, and liquidity. This graph can assist you in determining which choice best meets your financial objectives. Through this, when you make comparisons, you come to know ki which choice will best suit for me, my objectives, and have a good, smart financial planning. Then what you do? You compare your financial options. When you compare your financial options, you evaluate the pros and cons of each choice thoroughly. Means that whenever you compare, between fund A, fund B, or fund C. Then what do? You see the pros and cons. What are the advantages for me? What are the disadvantages in this fund is giving or not? What? You first, what you do, you identify the pros and cons. Then what do? You align with goals. Once you know what are the pros and cons of the financial options, then you align with your goal. Your goal is for suppose your goal is for long term. Then you see the fund which I have chosen, is it for long term? Is it fulfilling my purpose or not? Am I getting good returns or not? If I Are there any damages or any unexpected costs going to incur in future or not? Okay, if you plan to save for a house, a yield savings account might be better than a regular saving account. Suppose in future you want to purchase any property, suppose, or a house, then you need a high yielding savings account. Will be much better than a regular savings account. Why? Because in high yielding savings account, you get a much higher interest as compared to regular savings account. Then you have scenario analysis. Means consider different scenarios for each option. For example, suppose then you have to identify and or you can seek scenario for each options. Like suppose if you want to invest in stocks, analyze how they might perform in both bullish and bearish market. Means suppose if you want to invest in shares in stock market, what do? You make a list of the stocks you want to invest and what are the performance when the market is bullish and what are the returns and when the market is bearish. This analysis helps you to prepare for various potential outcomes. Okay. Then you have spotting financial scams. Nowadays, hello, you have done all the scanning of your financial decisions. But what is more important also? You spot out financial scams. What scams also happen nowadays? Scams also are happening in this financial market. You should be aware of the scams that promises quick money. See, nowadays there are a lot of scams happening, and you have to be aware of what type of scams are happening, what are more frequently going on in this market. Scams often prey on your desire for easy wealth. Scams often, what do? They want your wealth easily. Here are some tips to avoid scams. With now, you can say first is research. Means what you have to conduct. You always conduct thorough research before making any investments. Means that if you want to make an investments, you have to make a thorough research that is there any scams going on in the past 10, 15 years? Was there any scam? And what is the effect today? And if I make my investment today in this fund or in this financial option, what will happen in the next 10 years or 5 years? Depends. You have to make a thorough research on it. Check for the company's registration, the reviews, and the complaints. Then after that, you check the company's registration, the review, what company's reviews on the scam, or any complaint has been filed, or the complaint is going on, which has not been completed, etc. Then you discuss, then or look at the online forums where people discuss experience with the company. Then you see the people's other investors review, what review they have given on the scams, what are the on the company, the experience what they if they faced the scam. Then trust your instincts. As an investor, whenever you invest in some financial market or anywhere, you have to always get an instinct. Then whether this the financial object which I'm investing is a good one or not. So if your instinct says no, this is not a good one, then you should not go for it. Go for it. Always trust it. Trust it because these instincts are not bad. It is always a hint a hint to go forward or to not to go forward. You should be caution of invest. Suppose, for instance, you should be caution for investing opportunities that guarantees high returns with little risk. If something feels off, take a step back and reassess the situations. Okay, always trust your instincts. Consult trusted sources. After that, you have to always seek advice from reputable financial news sources or consult a financial advisor. If then after that you can consult if you're not satisfied, then you can consult a source, means like a financial advisor or any reputed financial news source where you can get sources, new financial sources, etc. It's better to double check than to rush into decision. That you're putting your hard money. And once you've decided that you have to invest, you're sure, but yet you have to double sure yourself that before you make a decision. Then consider where to learn more money about money. Where to learn more about money. Learning about money doesn't stop here. Many resources are available to enhance your financial literacy. Means that you have to again and again keep on updating yourself about the financial literacy is happening in today's world. The right resources can deepen your understanding and provide with you the knowledge you need to make the better informed decisions. These are the various resources where you can get your financial knowledges. You have Total Money Makeover, then The Rich Dad, Poor Dad, The Intelligent Investors. Okay. Now, these are all list of important financial terminology. As you know, I have already discussed what is budget. Budget is a detailed plan outlining expected income and expenses. It is what is a budget? Budget is a detailed plan which tells us about what are the expenses and what are your incomes. It serves a roadmap for your finances. Budget helps to track your spending habits. Budget tells us what are you spending, where are you spending, how are you spending, frequency of your spending habits. Regularly reviewing your budget can reveal areas of improvement. When you have to regularly review your budgets, and after reviewing your budgets, you can see where you can reveal your areas of for improvement. Which areas you can improve, you can reduce your spending, or you can increase your income. We can try to increase your income. Okay. For example, monthly budgets help to track spending, ensuring your life live within your means. Then again, savings. Saving, what do you mean by saving? It means setting aside for future use. It is for unexpected expense or financial emergencies. Savings always helps you to use during your unexpected or emergency times. Keeping savings in separate account can reduce temptation to spend. When you keep savings in different account, it helps you to spend less. Okay, then what do you have? What is it? Investments. What is investments? Investment is an act of putting money into financial schemes or assets. Investment is what? You invest somewhere, you put money into some other financial schemes or asset. What is the goal? Why do you need to put investments? To generate returns or profit over time. Investments can be risky, so research is important. Investment, yes, it is risky, but before making any investment, you have to research is also an important part of it. Then you have interest rates. What is interest rate? Interest rate is a percentage charge on borrowed money. Whenever you borrow money, so what do the banks or financial institutions do? They charge interest on the borrowed amount. It can also refer to the return on savings and investments. Okay, then you have debt. Debt is what? Is a money borrowed that must be repaid. Like suppose if you borrow any money from the loan, from the bank, so that's a debt you have to repay after a certain period of time. It typically comes with interest, making it more expensive over time. Means that once you take a loan, you have to pay interest on it. So once you start paying interest plus the principal, over time it becomes very expensive for the borrower to pay money to repay. Okay. Then again, it's a crucial for maintaining good financial health to manage your debt, which is a very crucial for your financial health. Okay. Then liability. Now, what is liability? A liability is a financial obligation or a debt owed to another party. Means a liability is your financial obligation, obligation from from another party. Means that you are taking an obligation from another party financially. Knowing your liabilities helps in financial planning. Okay, you're investing, you're saving, okay, but one of the also important part of financial planning is knowing your liability. If you know how much you have to pay, how much is the liability, then accordingly you have to invest. Like if you know your liability is too much and investment is very less, then this is not a good financial plan. Okay, reducing liabilities can improve your net worth. Once you know your liabilities, start reducing it by paying it off on the due dates, and this is how you can improve your net worth. Then, what is net worth? Net worth is the difference between total assets and total liabilities. It provides a snapshot of financial health. What is net worth? Net worth means total assets minus total liabilities. Whatever it is left is your net worth. Net worth, what does this indicate? It indicates how financial is a financial healthy or unhealthy. Then you track your net worth over time helps measure progress. Every time you keep tracking how's your net worth. Is it positive? Is it negative? How? And accordingly, it helps to measure your progress. A positive net worth indicates financial stability. A positive net worth means more of assets and less of liability, which indicates a, a healthy financial stability. Now, again, what is credit score? A credit score numerically reflects an individual's credit worthiness. Means that what do you mean by credit score? A credit score is what? It reflects an individual's credit worthiness. Means how is he good worthy maintaining a good credit in the financial market? How it is determined? It is determined by credit history and his behavior. Means his history means his past performance in his financial market, his financial planning, and his behavior towards it. A high credit score can result in more favorable loan terms. Regularly monitoring a credit score helps in identifying the potential issues. Every time you have to regularly monitor your credit score. And once you monitor credit score, you identify what issues you are facing and can you help them to remove that or what. Then you have his emergency funds. What is an emergency fund? An emergency fund consists of savings for unforeseen expenses. Means that again, it's like a savings account. Like savings is like you're putting some amount of money into another fund which is used for emergency. It offers financial security during challenging time. Means that whenever there's an emergency or any situation comes, you know you have money. So you can use that. You can use money from emergency funds. It aims to save enough for 3 to 6 months of living expenses. Means that you have to save as that much living to save as much that's for three to which can you can use it for 3 to 6 months of living expenses. This emergency funds can help to alleviate stress during financial crisis. Suppose nowadays financial crisis can occur anytime. This during these financial crises, you can use this emergency funds to for your expenses. Now you have financial independence. What is financial independence? It's a state of having enough personal wealth to live without working. Means suppose sometimes your job is you resign or whatever you don't and you're not working currently. But now financial independence that you have at that point of time when you're not working, you have enough money that you can for your personal wealth, for your personal well-being. That is known as financial independence. It allows individuals to pursue their passion and interest. Without when you're not working or when you're not earning, it allows you have that much of financial independence, financials where you can pursue your passion and interest. Achieving financial independence requires careful planning and savings. For to have financial independence, you should have be careful. You require careful planning and savings. Setting a clear financial goal is essential to this journey. You have to set a clear financial goal. What is your goal? Financial goal for this for having financial independence. Then is passive income. What is passive income? Passive income is earnings derived from investments or ventures with minimum active involvement. Means it is your earnings you derive from whatever you earn from your investments with minimum active involvement. Like you're not active in that investment, but you're earning a good amount of income from that investment. This is what passive income. It provides a way to earn money while focusing on other activities. Means that you earn income, but you're not having any focus on your involvement in that income. But you're focusing on some other activity. So that is what it provides a way to earn more money on that. Examples you can say like rental income, dividend from stocks. See, once you have a property, you have given the property on rent. Now you don't need to make any involvement on it. So what you're just earning rent on it. It's just a rental income you're earning. So this is nothing, you're not getting actively involved in the property or anything. So this is what a passive income. Then you have dividend from stocks. Means you have invested share money in the stocks. So whenever the company declares dividend, you don't need to have an active involvement on the stocks. Okay, you're invested, you're getting return as dividend. Then you have tax bracket. A tax bracket is a range of income tax at specific rate. Means a tax bracket is what? Means range of incomes. You have range of income, like if suppose now you have 0 to 2 lakh 50, you know the tax is 0. 2 lakh 50 to 5 lakh is 10% and all that. So this is what it's the range of income, and accordingly the specific rate of tax is charged. Understanding a tax bracket helps in financial planning. Once you know where your income stands, in which bracket or in which range your income, total income stands, accordingly a specified rate of tax is charged. And accordingly you can trace your financial planning. Being aware of tax brackets can help with investment decisions. When you're aware of your such tax brackets, such tax rates, or such the income range, it can help you to make more investments and decisions accordingly. Then you have peer-to-peer lending. Peer-to-peer lending is a method that connects borrowers and lenders directly. Means that peer-to-peer lending means that when there are few people who come together, who are borrowers and who are lenders, they borrow and lend between them two. This is what peer-to-peer lending. It often bypasses traditional financial institutions. P2P lending can offer attractive rate of interest for both the parties. This type of lending helps both the parties to have a good or attractive rate of interest. Understanding the risk involved is essential for participating. Means that once you have to understand, you have to know the both the parties and accordingly understand the risk involved in it and accordingly participate. Okay. Then you have is insurance. What is insurance? Insurance is a contract. You're providing financial protection against the losses. Means it's a contract with the insurance company where you protect yourself from the financial from the losses you might occur in future. It involves paying premium in exchange for coverage. Means for that, every insurer has to pay premium to the insurance company for coverage, means for protection. There are different types of insurance just for different various risks. There are different insurance consists of different types of insurance which covers different types of risks. Like you have fire insurance for any for fire occurring. You have water insurance for floods, and you have miscellaneous insurance. Okay, like you have health insurance. That's more important. Over medical expenses, reducing financial strain. Nowadays, health has become very much important, and every person at the earliest takes health insurance for his or for himself or and for his family to cover medical expenses. Then you have his financial advisor. What do you mean? Who is a financial advisor? A financial advisor is a professional who provides financial service and advices. He's a financial advisor. The person is a professional who guides you, who provides you services, and he advises you which type of where to invest, where not to invest, what is according to your needs and wants. They help the individuals and business to achieve financial goals. They even help the businessmen, and individuals are in it to achieve the financial goals. Then you have to choose a right advisor is essential for personalized guidance. Means to have a good guidance, you have to select a good financial advisor. Example, you can say the financial advisor in case of retirement planning. If you want to go for retirement, you want to go for tax planning. It all depends upon consulting a financial advisor. Then you have liquidity. What is liquidity? Liquidity refers to how quickly an asset can be converted into cash. Liquidity means how easily you can convert a asset into a cash easily without any time consuming. High liquidity means assets can be sold easily without a significant loss in value. High liquidity means that what you mean means an asset which can be converted into cash easily without any loss in the value. See, you can say understanding liquidity is the most important for managing investments and expenses. Means you have to understand how can you convert liquidity into cash is very much important for investment making, managing investments and decisions, and also in managing your expenses. Then you have credit card. Sorry. Then you have credit card. A credit card is a plastic card issued by banks or financial institution allows you to borrow. Means that whenever you go and open an account in a bank, they issue a card, which is known as credit card, which is issued by banks or financial institution, which helps us the banks, which helps us to borrow money from the bank for any purchases or any payments to be made. It's a comes with a credit limit and charges interest on the outstanding balance. However, failing to pay off balance can lead to high interest debt. Let's say you have to pay as and when you use the credit card for making purchases, for making any payment, you have to pay off um these expenses as early as possible. And once if you don't pay these expenses on the due date, then they will charge high interest debts. Okay. Then you have a retirement plan. A retirement plan is what? Means again, it's a plan. It's a financial arrangement designed to provide income during retirement. Means you have to arrange the arrange in such a way that you provide income after retirement or during a retirement. Plans can be employer sponsored. Retirement plans can be a employer who sponsor your retirement plans. Okay. Okay. These are very crucial for effective retirement planning. Then you have cash flow. What is cash flow? Cash flow is a movement of money. It's a movement of money into and out of business or personal account. Means you have inflow or outflow. Cash inflow or outflow out on your personal account or from businesses. Positive cash flow indicates that income exceeds expenses, allowing savings and investment. Positive cash flow means that your income is more than your expenses, which helps us you to make more savings and investments. Businesses must manage cash flow carefully to meet the obligation and invest in growth. Nowadays, businessmen have what they have to do. They have to manage cash flows to meet any expenses or obligations, and helps them also the excess money to invest in for growth. Then you have equity. What is equity? Equity represents ownership in an asset. Equity is a ownership in an asset after all debts associated with assets have been paid off. Building equity can be a key financial goal. Nowadays, every investor who invests money in the market, equity is one of them, which is a key financial goal for homeowners and for investors. Okay. Also refers to a shares of a stock in a company. Then you have annuity. An annuity is a financial product that provides a stream of payments over time, typically used for retirement income. Annuities can be fixed or variable and are depending on how much return they are calculated. An individual might purchase an annuity to receive monthly payments during retirement. Okay. Last is what? Long-term investments. Now you have done at least so much. Now you should know what is long-term investments. Long-term investments again, therefore, you can say for 5 years, more 5, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years and above. They include stock, they include real estate, retirement accounts, etc. You have to understand the benefits of if you want to invest in for long-term objectives, you have to understand the benefits of long-term investing. Of, and and long-term investments also carries more risk, but it gives a high return on interest. Okay. Now I hope you've understood all these things. Please do like, share, and subscribe.